Yeah, thanks for joining us this afternoon. It's great to have you with us. We've got a really good session planned. You might have heard we're recording this session, so if you don't want to be filmed or have your face on the screen, please do turn your camera off now, and we'll send a full recording of this out afterwards as well. Today's session is all about progressing in project management, and the global demand for project management is just rocketed, particularly post-pandemic as well. So we'll talk about that and some of the stats surrounding it. It's part of my job is, well, I shouldn't introduce myself. I'm John. I'm head of marketing here at Learning People. I've been with the company for 8 years. And I always say my favorite part of the job is just meeting our students and hearing how they've got to where they are now and being inspired by our students. You know, my role is to obviously to promote our courses and the career pathways that we offer. But to meet someone that has gone through that journey and landed a job and progressed in their career is why, why I do what I do and why the team does as well. So we're going to speak to Pamela. She had 4 years working in digital signage before enrolling with us, and she has her current role is as a project assistant project manager, at Arcadis. So we'll speak to Pamela very shortly. We've got some questions for her as well. If you don't know much about Learning People, very quick overview. We have 40,000 students worldwide. We specialise in project management and tech careers. I'm based in Brighton. We have homes in England, in Dublin, in Ireland, where Robin is, and also in New Zealand and Australia as well. We're all about helping people improve their lives through education. You'll all be here for different reasons, but the majority of you will be looking at learning new skills, earning more money by landing a job and changing career, or upskilling within project management as well. We just touched on before, the demand for project managers is huge at the moment. The latest PMI stats expect 22 million new project management job openings right the way through to 2027 around the world. And in the UK alone, that's predicted to be 170,000 job openings. I was just reading before this seminar on PM Today, which is a good source for news articles, just about project management in general. And what excites me is how diverse project management might be. You know, some people just think it's all about construction. It's not. Every industry needs a project manager. Some of the news today, Portugal is opening Europe's largest floating solar park. That would have taken some organization, right? And IKEA is now spending $3 billion to invest in adapting to e-commerce. All of these need individual projects and bigger projects. So, it's an exciting industry. Robin, would you be able to give us an overview of career services? Now, career services is an exclusive perk that you receive whilst you enroll with the Learning People. We have a 97% success rate of those students who have completed the 3 phases of career services have gone on to gain employment, and Robin is key to that team. So, hi, Robin.
Hi, Dano. Thanks very much. Yeah, I'll give a little bit of a brief overview of how that support process works, really. And I suppose our aim is to help Learning People students to become job ready, be able to navigate the job market and navigate that career change, if that's applicable to your circumstances. So to do that, we have a 3-phase process that we guide students through. The aim of phase 1 is to build your professional brand, right? So the idea is to help you be able to present yourself in line with what the market needs from you, regardless of what area within project management that you go into. So we help you research and understand, where do I fit in to the project world? There is sort of a space for everybody because it's so diverse and so varied. And we help you prepare your CV, your LinkedIn, how to tailor effective cover letters. And that's done one-to-one with a consultant like myself. And we go back and forth in that review process until you're able to present yourself at the industry standard. So that way you've less insecurities going to market. You're presented as strongly as you possibly could be. In phase 2, this is where you're getting out into the market, right? Where the magic happens, so to speak. So we give you lots of real deep guidance on applying for jobs online, approaching companies directly, how to work with recruiters, and we give a lot of guidance and steer on building a network of contacts, because this is absolutely pivotal in your job search, whether you're career changing or not, frankly, because what a lot of people aren't aware of is that only 30% of available opportunities are advertised online. So a lot of people go through with the common pitfall of just applying for as many jobs as possible and hoping for the best. What a lot of people don't know also is that can actually take you longer to find a job. So with career services at phase 2, we help students to structure a targeted plan that creates a balance of multiple methods of application to give you a much increased probability of achieving a positive result and getting responses in the market to move yourself forward. Phase 3 is the final phase, and it's very concentrated on interviews. To do very intensive interview prep calls, we help students with mock interviews, we can help you do presentation practice and the like, and we also give a lot of guidance and support throughout the job offer process. You know, sometimes that stickler of salary negotiation to make sure that you get the best possible package as you move into your new role within the project space. But overall, we tailor it to the needs of each individual student. So whether you're brand new to project management or you're a seasoned project professional that's getting qualifications and trying to break back into the market, you'll get a support service that's tailored to you and how you want to proceed within to the market, and we'll support all the way up until you land that role. I think that's us, really.
Thanks.
Overall.
Thanks, Robin. Thanks, Robin. That's great in a nutshell. What's the weather doing in Dublin today?
It is beautiful. It is a gorgeous, gorgeous sunny day. Rare, so we'll take it.
I'm sure you want to get out and enjoy that sunshine after this session. But no, that's very good to hear. So Matt Everett is our project management team manager. He's been at the company longer than me. He has an absolute wealth of experience. So afternoon to you, Matt. Maybe if you could just give us an overview about what your role is.
I've actually been with the company about 3 weeks less than you, Jono. So I think we're quite similar in that. But I'll take the wealth of experience and knowledge bit you said, Dave. So thanks you for that. So like I said, I've been with the company for 9 years this June, and all of that time has pretty much been spent in some shape or form with project management students, either as directly as a consultant, or I've actually spent the last 3 years, proud to say, actually heading up the team as well. And what our role in this is simply to guide you to the right decision, because everybody on this call will have different experiences, they'll have different career goals. I'd probably wager half of you aren't actually even looking for a role that involves the title project anything. I think most of you will be looking at this for transferable skills. And the thing about our team is that they recognize that this could potentially be a bit of a minefield. You know, everybody has different opinions on what certifications you need, where the reality is every individual needs individual advice. So me and my team's role in this is really just to make that as easy as possible. We may, across the period of time you spend in the consultations, ask some quite tough questions. We may ask you to look quite strongly in the mirror about what you're looking for and what you're looking to achieve, and that's good, because once you make the right decision, there's no stopping you. And I loved what Jono was saying there earlier about the diversity in the industry and the sector. I think it often gets forgotten that project management is now the second or third most in-demand job role for skill shortages in the UK, behind medical professionals like nurses and HGV drivers. That's how crazy the demand is out there for people. And Jono's right, it isn't construction. You know, 5 years ago, probably 30% of the people we spoke to were construction. They make up about 5 or 6% now. It's anything from like building what was it, a solar park?
They've called it, yeah, it's the largest solar park in Europe, and it's being built underwater.
Yeah, so the parent in me thought that this was some new sort of like theme park and land, a sort of like solar park adventure, but I now know what you mean. But it could be that, or it could be like a launch of a new mobile phone. It could be, like you said, the really interesting people we spoke to and their projects over the pandemic were people that are setting up mobile testing centres and vaccination plans. And what was great to see was people filling those roles had no medical backgrounds. They might have had some logistics experience. They might have come from retail. And I think that's the thing, you know, project management is an incredibly open career for anybody. And yeah, we're just here to help guide you make that right decision.
Thanks, Matt. And we should both do a joint lunch for our 9-year anniversaries then. I'll pay for you if you pay for me.
Yeah, that's it. I'll join you there, definitely.
Right, I'll have the lobster, please. Right. So we're going to talk to Pamela now. Just before we do, so Pamela, I say she used to work in digital signage, and she enrolled with us on the APM PMQ collection, which Pamela's still studying. Matt, could you just say what that collection is and what kind of pathways it might lead to, please?
Okay, right. So I'll try and do that in 20 seconds. So an APM collection with us will consist of 4 different certifications designed to ensure that there is no shortfalls in anybody's CV. It will tick every box that an employee could look for. It will cover off the 2 most common frameworks or project management methodologies. So you'll get Prince 2 Foundation, you'll get Prince 2 Practitioner, and you'll also get the Agile course as well. And then it will include an APM qualification to reflect your experience in the industry. And that will cover off the day-to-day skills of being a project manager. So that collection carries the most recognition in the job market. And it will also train you to industry best practice. So it ticks both the boxes of recognition, but also gives you the skill and confidence to approach your next phase of your career.
Perfect. Thank you, Matt. So Pamela, good afternoon to you. Thank you for joining us today.
Hi there. Hi, Jono. Thank you. I'm grateful to be here.
Well, honestly, it's great to have you, and I'm sure you're going to inspire lots of people on this session. So you enrolled with us on the APM PMQ collection, and you've relocated. You're currently in Bicester, aren't you? You've been there 3 months.
Yes.
How are you settling in?
Not too bad. I mean, the weather is not in my favor today, but other than that, it's okay. I'm enjoying the new area, exploring, meeting colleagues as well. There are a few colleagues who actually live in Bicester, so that's convenient. But yeah, it's just exploring the area at the moment. Been a little busy with moving and relocating.
Yeah, well, it all sounds super exciting. So we'll come on to that then. So maybe if you could tell us about your career journey to date, and then what led you to choose and enroll with Learning People and on the APM PMQ collection.
Yeah, that's fine. So as Jono mentioned, I was doing architectural visualizations for nearly 4 years for a property marketing company. And that's like creating CGIs on 3ds Max and Revit. And prior to that, I had a degree in interior architecture and design. So in terms of my passion, it's always been surrounding architecture and construction. And I knew that's the direction I wanted to go moving forward anyway, working within construction. But my previous role, when I decided to move on from my previous role, I wanted to focus on project management because there was a great deal of that within the role, but I didn't have any previous qualifications or knowledge. And whenever I was looking for jobs, they would always ask for Prince 2 or any sort of project management qualification. So that was the main decision maker. To be able to find a job within project management, I needed some form of formal qualification behind my skill sets as well. So yeah, I enrolled in August last year, and I'm still in the process of completing my course. I have one more exam to sit, but again, I think sometimes even without the full qualification, people do appreciate that I understand Prince 2 and kind of the methodologies within project management. And I genuinely believe that it was a contributing factor to finding my role. And I was working throughout my journey of studying. I was working alongside Robin within the career service. Once I got to the career service parts, and she was very helpful, kind of going through the anxieties of interviews, and also helping me in terms of how to do my research, where to focus my research, and how to engage with interviewers in the meetings. There were several sessions that we had as well, just like this one, where different people across the country would sit in and ask Robin, and I've forgotten her name now, but another career lady,
Marisha.
exactly, ask her any questions that we had. But yeah, I think in terms of my career, it's always been architectural focused, and it's led me here. And learning people was part of the journey to getting to my project management profession.
So, which is great to hear, Pamela. So you would say that whilst you haven't completed the collection yet, it's definitely supported you whilst you were looking for new roles in gaining those interviews?
Yes, definitely. I think it also gave me a deeper understanding. I think I've mentioned this to Robin a couple of times. I was doing a bit of project management in my previous role, but it wasn't necessarily the job title or the role. It was mainly doing 3D imagery. So the Prince2 process kind of helped me understand why I was doing some of the processes before, and also gave me confidence when I was talking about it in interviews. If they ask about certain things, I would actually remember from all of my learning resources. So yeah, it was a huge help.
And when you first came and approached the learning people, did you know that this was the collection for you? How did that first consultation call go?
No, I didn't. I had a consultation call. I inquired online and had a consultation call with Peter, I believe. And
Spencer.
Yes, we kind of talked through my background and where I was at that point, and he gave me advice in terms of what he thinks would help me pick up or add on to what I had previously. And prior to that, I think also my conversation with Peter helped to decide to go with learning people. I'd spoken to another company prior, and they didn't really explain the process very well. And also with the learning people offering the addition of the career support, I felt like I would have a bit more structure. Like it sounded like there was more structure than the other courses available, as well as the careers help. So yeah, the call was helpful with Peter to kind of help me decide which course was best for me, because at that point I really didn't know.
Well, that's great. I mean, that's the whole purpose of having a consultation is to understand, you know, what pathway is right for you, what your experience is, etc. So with you, so you said that you were interior architect and design. You studied, was that at university?
Yes. I went to the University for the Creative Arts in Farnham.
Okay, so how have you found the training at university compared training with learning people, which obviously everything is online and remote and kind of fits around your schedule?
It's very different. I think at university sometimes you don't have that flexibility to work with your personal or your other commitments, your personal commitments, whereas this allowed me to do all my job applications or do other part-time side businesses while I was studying. So it was all catered to my personal schedule, and I'm sure most people in the core have commitments that they have alongside learning. So that's very helpful. You can do it in the evening, you can do it in the morning. There isn't any pressure to do today or sit in the lecture today, so that was very helpful, and that's the biggest difference to university learning. Yeah, and I think it also just helps you to start structuring your lifestyle a bit better, because you know that you want to do this course, you want to get it done. So in order to do that, you need to sit and evaluate your schedule and try to fit it in, as well as stay committed to the time that you've set for yourself.
Yeah, Matt, would you say I guess there's pros and cons for both, but if maybe as we're a little bit older, we have more responsibilities, maybe children, maybe your work, and obviously online training, self-paced, is better. And maybe for people who are actually leaving school, if you wanted to fast track a process, we try and fit the training into 12 months, right? Which university typically 3 years.
Yeah. So your question would be, what is in the fact that online learning is probably more effective now? Is that what you're getting at? Would you say?
Probably that's the point I'm getting at. And is that what for the students that we enroll? Is it because it suits their needs because of those reasons?
I think it's twofold there, because inadvertently you've brought up the academia versus professional certification question as well. There is no denying that as you get older, you don't have more time. This myth about, oh, I'll do it in 3 months or 6 months or next year when I'll have more time. Just if you show me someone that says that and then they actually had more time on their hands a year later, I'm yet to meet them. And therefore, you're always going to have to fit certain things in and around your life. And I think the concept we have naturally going through academic education is that, a bit like work, if you're in a classroom, you have to fit everything around your education. And it's just not the case. It's nonsense. You know, the point of our courses is that your life still comes first, be it you're currently working Monday to Friday or whatever, night shifts or anything like that, or the fact you've got families or you've got friend commitments, you've got other employment on the side. No matter what it is, we've all got busy lives. And the penny needs to really drop with people that if you commit to an online study program, which gives you 12 months to complete study, which typically takes 4 to 6 months, that's because it fits in around everything that you're doing. You don't have to be doing this 10, 15 hours a week. I think our average student does maybe 3 to 5 hours, some less, some more. And it does enable you to do two things: keep perspective that your life will always take priority, but also if you do want to fast track it, you can. And on the flip side with the academia thing, what you're saying, Jono, academic courses are fantastic, but they do take 2 to 3 years, and they'll typically go in 6-year academic cycles. So what you are studying potentially at the end of your 3rd year, maybe 6 or 7 years out of date, you get into the real world, you get into an interview situation, there's going to be some severe gaps in your knowledge. And guess what? The people that know that are the employers. So if you're doing a professional certification, it just takes that desire, takes that knowledge that you're learning, but aligns it to a best commercial practice, which is free from interpretation, free from which institution did you study at. You know, Prince 2 is the same when you study Prince 2. Agile is the same. You're learning the same methodology. If you're APM certified, every employer knows what that means. And it's relevant, it's up to date, and in line with current industry demands and best practice. So yeah, that'd be my answer on both of those.
And that's a very good answer. Just with that, if anyone has any questions for this session, please do post them in the chat. You have to just post them to me, Jono Cox, and I can filter through and then read those out. Pamela, I'm really keen to understand more about your current role at Arcadis. Could you tell us what the day-to-day role is actually like?
I think it differs depending on the projects, to be honest. At the moment, maybe thrown in the deep end a little bit, but I'm working on 4 projects, and I'm in the government sector. So all of the projects are Future High Streets government funded, and each project is at different stages. And so each day is different depending on what project I'm working on. But like yesterday and today, I've been preparing a PAP document, and last week I was reviewing kind of interest from contractors, scoring contractors to see which one is more suitable for the job. So it's different with every job, and every day is almost different because they're different stages. But I work closely with the senior project managers on the jobs, and again, it's about communicating with them, understanding what they need from me at that point, and referring back for feedback. I'm far from perfect, still learning. So yeah, sometimes I send a document and they come back with loads of feedback and comments. But you have to take it to heart. You have to take it in a positive way, because at the end of the day, that's how I will learn moving forward. So yeah, it's mainly going through different documents at the moment, preparing for documents to go to tender, talking to clients as well. I'm heavily involved on one project with the clients. So on that project particularly, it's kind of scheduling progress meetings, putting together risk schedules, or any kind of supporting documents like that. Yeah, and whenever we have the meetings every week, I would go through what we've achieved up to that point from our previous catch up. But yeah, it just takes a bit of preparation to get to that point where I need to constantly update the action trackers, the documents, to make sure everything is up to date when I speak to the client.
What do you mean by future high street government funded?
The government is trying to invest in places outside of London, particularly in the north, because it's been a bit neglected. So there have been some funds designated to different cities within the Midlands and Northern regions, and I'm on 4 projects. All of mine are in the Midlands because I work for the Midlands branch, but it's basically renovating the high streets to try to bring back footfall into the high streets. So within the next 2-3 years, most of my projects will be in completion phases, and I'm sure most people will start hearing about visiting this place. I think in Stoke, again, it's not necessarily a secret. We've done public consultations and stuff like that, so there will be a project with an arena, there will be a multi-story car park, there will be retail, food and drink leading onto the arena, and it's all within Henley, which is in the center of Stoke-on-Trent. So it's those sort of things, just trying to bring footfall back into the high streets, and investing in those places within Midlands and not areas that have been neglected.
I mean, for me, that sounds super exciting. We're talking about how diverse project management is,
yeah,
with an underwater solar park. So are you involved in the planning stages of, you've been given a list of these high streets we need to have to gentrify or revamp, like what is it that we can build here which is going to increase footfall, and then it's about actually deploying it?
So in terms of myself, it's more of a consultation role. I will be working to kind of choosing frameworks, and contractors who will carry out certain works, and putting together kind of the list of relevant people, making sure that the client expectations are being met. So I'm more of the middle person. In terms of the Stoke one, we had to procure the architect who designed all the arenas and stuff like that. But in terms of the car park, it requires specific kind of skills. So we had to look for a different designer to carry out that work. So it's that sort of stuff. I mean, in client meetings, sometimes they ask your opinion, sometimes they don't need it. So when they do ask, I'm happy to share. But in terms of the design, I don't have a huge impact on that. That's something that the architect will handle, but I will be part of the panel who will be choosing what architect and, reviewing who is most suitable for the job, and obviously communicating with them and making sure that they're working with the contractors, they're working with the interior designers, the public realm, landscape architects, so you're kind of the central point for different teams to come back to, and then you communicate with the client, if that makes sense.
Someone's just breaking into the room. But this sounds super fascinating. And so, yeah, it's also like a direct transferable skill from your degree in design and architecture. And we talk about transferable skills in project management all the time. And most people probably don't know that they have those transferable skills. I'm just conscious of time. So if we fast forward 4 years, Pamela, how do we know that the result of what you and the team has done is going to be successful?
In terms of knowing for certainty, there's no certainty yet, but I think you just have to keep an eye out. To be honest, I think at the moment, in terms of the delivery of the projects, we do have a program in place. So at the moment, everything seems to be running according to the program, but you never know the obstacles that you might face in the future. So I'm optimistic that the projects are going well so far and we'll see them through to completion. But that being said, there's always room for deviations. So it's just about, again, just staying on track, keeping sure that you're updating things as they go. If you notice a program per se, you find a way to resolve it before it escalates. That's my role at the end of the day, making sure that, you know, things are staying on track and the project is moving forward. So yeah.
So we'll keep an eye out for the marketing campaigns in 4 years for these cities. Now that's brilliant. So just before moving on to onto some questions from everyone on the session, what advice would you give to everybody here if they're looking to career change into project management?
I think speak to the advisors, see what they say, because at the end of the day, everyone's background is different. Everyone's aspirations are different. For me, I specifically wanted to work within architecture. As I mentioned before, it is a passion. I want to see buildings everywhere. And I want to be in the front line of the action. So I think you just have to make your expectations clear, so that you're able to receive the best advice. Yeah. Great.
Okay, so question from Hussein, I think that's how you pronounce your name. Thanks for your question. And this is probably directed at Robin. When is the best time to contact career services? Should I wait to pass my courses? Can you please just elaborate some more on this?
Great question, right? So what we would have a minimum requirement that you pass your first certification, right? Because like that's going to, kind of like as Pamela touched on, it's going to armor you with all of the right knowledge and the right context to understand how your previous skills and previous experience connects up to project management. So you've got that foundation level understanding, and it's a lot easier for you to present yourself against the competition that have at least the first one. After that, this varies across our student base. So some people prefer to have all of their courses done first and then start moving towards the job market. You know, they might maybe be in a very comfortable position already and can work their life around their studies currently, and then it's easier for them to make the change after they've done that balance. For certain people, they want to get out of their current job yesterday, so that's totally fine as well. We work and we accommodate around that. So once you've got your first certification, you then reach out to us and then we move through the phase 1 process. But you can kind of, you know, it's best to tailor it, again, like the studies, to your own personal desires and your personal motivations, really.
Great. Albert, this is a cracking message. Thanks for joining us today. He says enrolled with the Learning People 3 months ago and is now a project manager with a multinational organization. So that's great to hear. Congratulations. And we'll try and reach out to you to join us for a seminar. Would be great. Matt, a couple of questions surrounding prices of the courses, and also Golnaz says that they're in Pakistan. Can they join the course? Mate, could you just give an overview of prices and does location matter?
Simple answer is location doesn't matter. One of the great things about how we operate as a business is that not only have we got a global community, but also we have up to about 7 or 8 different finance options. So no matter where you are, not only can you join us, but you can also spread the cost of your course. As for fees, that depends. You know, we've got anywhere from, we've got a new package which is basically gets you career ready certified in 2 courses, like Prince 2 Foundation and Agile Foundation as a 2. We have the ability to put that together now for $995. That's our starting point. Right the way through to more experienced director level project managers that are looking to undertake a vast variety of certifications. That goes up to about £3,500. So in between that, we would look at being able to do anything for anybody, really. One of the things we have got at the moment available is part funding, where we are able to contribute some of your course fee up to about £300 on some of the more complete collections. So yeah, like as Pamela was saying, discuss it with your individual consultant, see what we're able to do in that situation for yourself.
And Charlotte has sent a message, say, do we offer Prince 2 and Agile, which you've answered that question. So
yeah, so we've got, in terms of the list of certifications we've got everything from Prince 2 Foundation and Practitioner through to Agile Foundation, Agile Practitioner, Prince 2 Agile, Change Management Foundation, ITIL, Six Sigma. I've probably forgotten a few, PMP, CAPM, but I think that this goes back to what you need. Every student is in a different situation. It's so frustrating, I think, when people see headline figures and via email going, we can do this amazing collection for you for this price. Why would you invest your money in something you're not needing at this stage in your career? And don't get swept away by those offers. The amount of people that need Six Sigma, believe me, is far less than the amount of people that ask us for Six Sigma. And someone like Pete that Pamela, you spoke to, he's got 10 years experience in this. You know, I think there's over 55 years combined experience across my project management consultant team. So you're in safe hands if you're speaking to someone, put it that way. And
can I take exams remotely?
Yes.
There we go. We don't need to expand on that. Robin, quick question for you then, just as we are running out of time from Shay. What are the most important skills to have to become a project manager? We obviously spoke about transferable skills.
Yes, so many transferable skills. Again, depending on what area you move into, different skills are going to come into play, but some of the core foundational skills needed from anybody in a project role would be somebody that's organized, good communication. Good communication is absolutely paramount, right? Also to be a problem solver. You are a large scale problem solver for the most part as a project manager or in the project space, and someone that can be like proactive and resourceful. These are some really, if you can demonstrate those kind of skills and how you present yourself, you will be incredibly in demand as a project professional.
Thanks, Robin. Pamela, just before we finish the seminar, a couple more questions for you. So your role at the moment sounds super exciting, and your journeys sound super exciting. So where would be progression for you in terms of the next role up?
To be honest, at this point, I wanted to settle into the role, but I have been thinking of kind of 5 years where I see myself definitely in a more senior position. I want to grow, and I want to grow fast. And in terms of the company, it seems like they do offer a lot of growth opportunity. I'm already speaking to my line manager about my review, my 1-year review. I will want to be talking about promotions into a project management role. So I think for me personally, I definitely am trying to learn as much as I can so that I grow and I become very knowledgeable in the industry. I'm coming into it not knowing a lot. So it's a bit of a journey, but at the same time, I think I've been able to prove myself within the last 3 months already. But it just all takes initiating and trying to push yourself and, you know, always asking questions.
Well, you've shared your story very articulately, and I'm inspired by your story, so thank you. And I'm sure like you're going to have an amazing career. I am super excited by your role. Just one final question then, has the investment in the training been worth it?
It's been worth it. It's definitely been worth it. I think in terms of financial return, I've already had more, and you know what I could have hoped for in terms of my return for the investment. And in terms of me just feeling happy within myself, my previous role, I was speaking to Robin about this, you know, I did feel a certain restriction at some point. So I wasn't satisfied anymore. And in terms of just my own self happiness, it's improved because I feel like I'm in a role that I actually enjoy, and I'm learning a lot. Again, growth is a big part of what I want to achieve in the long run. So this career so far is allowing me to pave the way for a lot of growth.
That's fantastic to hear. So yeah, that's brilliant. Big congratulations to you. We have run out of time. I know a few people have their hands up and have posted in the chat. Matt, could you just summarize what people need to do so we can answer all those questions, please?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the majority of you will already be discussing your individual circumstances with your careers consultant. So if you have got any questions for them, ask them when they try to call you next, or just send them an email. That's the main thing. Like, so just pick up the phone, respond to the emails. But most importantly, again, thanks, Pamela, for your time today. Really enjoyed hearing that story. It's one thing I've noticed on these webinars is the names that are coming up. We really are developing quite a big community for the webinars. I've seen some names here that have actually watched 4 or 5 of these webinars now, which is absolutely fantastic. And if you are new to it and you are thinking about getting up and running, just don't have any regrets about not doing it. I think that's the thing. No, you can stand still, and if you're happy, fantastic. But if you really do want to develop, you really do want that higher salary, you do want to kickstart a new career, or you want to take that next step up, I've yet to hear somebody with an experience that has been backwards. Everyone that's invested in their training has gone on, moved, and got the progression that they were uncertain whether or not they would. So yeah, do pick up the phone, all jokes aside, do respond to those emails, get up and running, and you'll get back what you invested and 10 times more, no doubt.
Thank you, Matt. Robin, enjoy the sunshine in Dublin. And a big thank you to Pamela. And we look forward to speaking with everyone very soon. Thanks for joining us today, and have a great rest of your day.
Thanks, everyone.
Take care. Bye-bye.